Year 2001. Detroit was a city used to watching things disappear. Factories, jobs, people. But on a cold November night, something vanished in a much stranger way. Something that should have left a trace. Something that should have left evidence. Something that should have left a body. But it didn't. In the early hours of November 17th, 2001, a fire started in a small house located in a quiet residential neighborhood in the northern part of Detroit. The house belonged to the Carter family, a normal family, a father, a mother, and a daughter. The fire started around 2:41 in the morning. At least that was the time recorded in the first emergency call. The neighbor who made the call woke up to the smell of smoke drifting through her bedroom window. When she opened the curtains, she saw the house next door being swallowed by flames. The fire climbed the wooden walls as if something invisible was feeding it. It spread too fast, much too fast. By the time firefighters arrived, the roof had already begun to collapse. The structure of the house was unstable, but there was something even worse. A child was still inside. Daniel Carter was 42 years old at the time. He had worked as a homicide detective for the Detroit Police Department for more than 20 years. He was known for being patient, methodical, the kind of investigator who never liked leaving questions unanswered. But that night, he became part of a case that no investigation would easily explain. Daniel arrived at the scene only minutes after the police received the emergency call. When his patrol car turned onto his street, the red and blue lights of the emergency vehicles were already illuminating the dark sky. The house was completely engulfed in flames. Firefighters rushed around the structure while hoses poured water against the fire. Neighbors watched from the sidewalks in silence. But Daniel Carter couldn't see any of them, because inside that house was his daughter, Emily Carter, 8 years old. Laura Carter was found only minutes before the firefighters arrived. She was standing in the street, barefoot, covered in soot, disoriented. Paramedics said she had managed to escape through a side window just before the fire spread through the entire house. She was placed inside an ambulance parked on the street, wrapped in a thermal blanket. But something about her behavior was strange. Laura didn't look only traumatized. She looked confused, as if she was trying to understand something that made no sense. The fire took nearly 3 hours to be fully extinguished. When the flames finally died, only a blackened skeleton of the house remained. Burned wood, twisted metal, ash scattered through every room. That was when firefighters began searching for victims. The team commander was a veteran firefighter named Tom Raines. He had participated in hundreds of rescue operations. He knew exactly what to look for. Even in severe fires, the human body rarely disappears completely. Something always remains. Bone fragments, teeth, some kind of physical evidence. But that morning, something strange happened. Firefighters found burned furniture. They found melted appliances. They even found the bones of the family dog, but they found no human remains. None. Emily Carter simply wasn't there. 3 days later, the official fire report was completed. The cause was listed as an electrical short circuit in the kitchen. The case was classified as a domestic accident. No signs of intrusion, no signs of a crime, no identifiable remains. For the authorities, the case was closed. But for Laura Carter, it was only the beginning. In the days that followed, Laura began analyzing the investigation reports. Before becoming a university professor, she had worked in an experimental neuroscience laboratory. She understood the limits of the human body. She knew what fire could do, and she also knew what fire could not do. For Laura, the problem wasn't the fire. The problem was the absence of any human remains. To her, that meant only one thing. Emily had not been inside the house when it burned. For weeks, Laura researched pharmaceutical companies, scientific institutes, and military contracts. That was when a name began appearing repeatedly in old documents. A little-known research institute, an organization called the Genesis Institute. Officially, the institute studied human behavior and cognitive development. But some archived documents suggested something different. During the 1990s, the institute had conducted extremely controversial experiments involving children. Experiments related to the human mind, memory, perception, and something scientists referred to as expanded consciousness. The project name appeared over and over again in the files, Project Eden. 3 months after the fire, Laura Carter disappeared. Her car was still in the garage. The front door was locked. No signs of a struggle. But her office had been completely cleaned, files removed, computer wiped, as if someone had tried to erase every trace of the investigation she had been conducting. But one thing had been overlooked: a small recorder hidden inside a drawer. On the recording, there was only a short message. A message Laura had left just hours before disappearing. In the recording, she said she had discovered something disturbing. Something about Project Eden. Something about other children who had disappeared under strange circumstances. And something even more troubling: she had found the name Emily Carter in one of the Institute's reports. File classification, Subject 17A, status, active. At that moment, Daniel Carter realized the fire that destroyed his house might not have been an accident. It might have been a distraction, a way to hide something much bigger. Because if Emily Carter was still alive, it meant someone had taken an 8-year-old child and turned her into part of an experiment called Project Eden.